Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 654 of the DrunkNerds podcast. I'm host, as always, I'm Tyler. And joining me, we have the man, the myth, the legend himself, Sir Colonel Gables. What's up, buddy?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. Oh my gosh, just finished another week of kind of slow processes going on at work and stuff. Snowy weather has started to hit the peninsula finally, and I'm like, okay, well, this is going to be nice for about a day or so, and then now I just want to do something else.
Yeah.
So it's been like days of, okay, let's see if I can do while in bed right here. So I just take my Switch, just play a little bit of this and stuff, and then just almost fall asleep, but not really, and then I'll and then I'm just up
Yeah.
like awake or something for like another hour afterwards. But other than that, though, I mean, yeah, man, I'm just kind of just waiting for the Super Bowl to get done and over with and stuff like that. Uh, let's see, other things sports related and stuff. I mean, the NBA just had their trade deadline come
Yep.
and went and stuff. I know for my Warriors, they traded for Jimmy Butler, which Jesus Christ, I mean, it was like a four-team trade that involved in like them getting rid of Wiggins, them getting rid of other stuff.
Yeah. We got Dennis Schroeder. Thank you
Four or
very
five,
much.
yeah, yeah. Pistons got Schroeder, which the Warriors got rid of him, and also like Anderson and stuff like that because of their expiring contracts at the end of the year. They didn't want to re up on them, so that was kind of a smart move for them financially. But Schroeder is a good shooter. He definitely is consistent in terms of his 3-point shots. Um, as far as for the Warriors, they gave up a lot just to get Jimmy Butler. I
Eh.
mean, they gave obviously they gave like Wiggins and stuff and Anderson over to the Miami Heat and stuff, but a protected first round pick, which yeah, that's probably much the main thing that the Heat are getting really because even if like say they consistently use like guys like Wiggins and stuff like that, who is was a part of the Warriors last championship run in 2022, it's like you still have some good pieces to try to help build in terms of that stuff. But I know for the Warriors, they're already seeing kind of a little bit of hints of what's to come. I mean, they faced off against the Bulls tonight and stuff, and between both Butler and Steph, they scored about 59 points.
Nice.
But the Warriors were down 24, and like they won, I think like 120 something to about 100
No.
or something. So that's a good start.
Yeah.
But we'll see how it is for the rest of the season. But last, this is a gaming podcast, and how are you doing, Tyler?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing okay. Gables talked about last week. I bought a real man's console last week. I got a Steam Deck. So I'm moving on up in the world. Not playing not playing those fucking kids games like bitches out there playing Nintendo Switches.
I feel called out with this.
Yeah, I was a little bit. I was kind of calling you. No, no. Anyways, I'm just excited for the Switch too. But no, I got a Steam Deck, so I was pretty excited about that. Been spent a lot of time on the old Steam store, and I'm starting to understand why people have Steam backlogs that are a mile long because like,
Oh,
oh,
yeah.
okay, $2 you say? And I'm like, I bought like Sleeping Dogs for $3. I'm like, when am I ever gonna play Sleeping Dogs? I love Sleeping Dogs. I love that game back in the day when I played it. I'm never gonna play that game. But I'm like, I have it now, I guess. Like it's never gonna happen. But I'm like, oh, this is what people talk about. And I'm like looking, I'm like, oh man, Portal's like $5. Maybe I should buy Portal. And I'm like, what am I doing? Yeah. But no, I'm having a good time with it. Gables though, I did buy another. I had another big purchase this week. Um,
And what's up?
you can't be mad at me about it.
Okay.
Okay. I'll just show you 1 second.
Okay.
It's a big one though. It's a big one.
Uh
Yes.
huh. Those big old fucking Fleet Cocoa, like what are those Squishmallows?
Look at them.
I'm always seeing those damn things at Walmart, but
This thing is huge. I don't think anybody can hear me. I bought a giant Squishmallow Fucoco. Um, he is it was $13, so I'm like I can't pass this up. It's Fucoco. Dude, the box he came in was hilarious. I was like, I have my all my mail, my packages go to my parents' house. So what
uh-huh.
my mom was not happy when she's like she saw how big the fucking like package was, but like luckily she was like kind of mad, but then like it was like a 5 pound package, so like that was fine. But yeah, she was just like, what the fuck is this? So she was not pleased at first. But yeah, no, yeah, when she saw that, it was like okay. When she like moved, like okay, cool. Like she had to like drag it into the front porch, but
Oh man, that's not the first thought that came to mind. Where it's like your mom just sees like this big old bag just around here. It's been their first thoughts about that.
Yeah, she's like, what? Yeah, it's a. Yeah, I did open it in front of them so they would see what it was. I'm like, that is not a weird.
Yeah, yeah.
Does not. This does not come from Russia. This is not, some sort of doll. It's Fukoko.
Tyler, you buy a blow up doll?
Yeah, she's like looked at me. She's like, "What is that?" I'm just like, "Fukoko." She's like, "What?" I'm like, "Fukoko." And it's like, yeah. So I had it was a whole conversation about what Fukoko is, and when they eventually got it. But yeah, it's really cute though. I put it on because I live in a very small apartment. I need to quit buying shit. My lease is up in like 6 months. I have no room for it. I have so much shit. I have shit just stacked on top of each other right now, and my closet is
Mm.
like I have two closets and they're just packed full of shit. I'm scared to open the door sometimes just because I have nowhere to put shit. And then I seen this, I'm like, oh, okay, and I bought it, but it's on the love seat now. Like I have a couch and a love seat, and the love seat I think I've sat on like I've had it for 6 years now, and I think I've sat on it 3 times for combined 10 minutes. It's basically just my dog's chair at this point, and he likes to sit on
Mm-hmm.
the top of it and just look out the window. And he also he'll sleep on it. Like I basically just made a bed for him on it. But I put the Fukoko on the love seat on the other side. My dog is very small, so he takes up one seat, but it is now his little cuddle buddy, so it's very adorable. Um,
Aw.
yeah, so they're now Fukoko and my dog are now friends, so that's very exciting. Uh, so, but yeah, I'm gonna have to eventually get a Charmander one because Charmander is my boy, but I don't think my dog will be very happy because the Fukoko literally takes up one seat of my love seat. So if I get another one, it's gonna take up the other one, and then my dog's not gonna have a spot to sit. So it's this is the price I pay for Fukoko and my dog. So, but anyways, yeah, no, I'm doing okay. Clanging and banging as always. Gables, I've got a new hobby now. I don't think I've told you about since Christmas.
Okay.
Um, my sister for Christmas got me a Keurig. Just because like I buy coffee, but like I only like drinking coffee when I'm like on my days off. But obviously I work
Uh,
most days, so like my coffee usually goes bad when I buy the like little even the small tubs. So she got me a Keurig, and I spend way too much money at Starbucks just because I love Starbucks so much. I buy all the extra shit. I buy the sweet foam and the caramel drizzle. So I have now started making my own foam.
you started making your own
I
foam,
bought
huh?
yeah I'm like turning to Jimmy Butler over here. I'm perfecting my own coffees. And it's got to the point now like I'm buying like I got heavy whipping cream in my fridge now. I bought the frother, the milk frother thing. I like I've been it's bad. I've been there making coffees now. I made like 3 coffees the other day for no reason. I just wanted the foam. And honestly, it's kind of the issue. I'm at the point now I'm going to start making like I'm gonna start like just putting ice water in a cup and then putting foam on it just because it tastes so good. Then I get like you gotta get like this vanilla like mix stuff you put in like this like I'm working on getting perfecting the mixes of the heavy whipping cream with the caramel drizzle and then also the vanilla like syrup you put in it. But
So let me ask you,
yeah,
how many times have you forgotten that you put in stuff inside of the frother and stuff and just left it there?
none so far. No, I'm doing pretty
Okay,
good.
I mentioned that though is because my boss at work, when she does her coffee and stuff, she has these the frother and stuff like that. When she gets busy with other things, she forgets it, and sometimes it refroths like about
Oh really?
like
I didn't know
about
that.
10 or maybe 15 different times or something like that throughout the day.
Oh, that's gross. It's just bad. You just throw it away at that point. I think. Start over. But yeah, no, it's become a whole thing now. I'm working on it. I'm perfecting it. In like 5 years, I'm just gonna open my own coffee shop. I'm just gonna be making everything's just gonna be foam. I want black coffee. Fuck you. You get foam. That's what it's gonna become a foam. Uh, but yeah, I'm only gonna do one kind. It's just foam. But yeah. Anyway, that'll be my coffee shop, just foam. But anyways, this is actually a video game podcast. I swear to God, we talk about video games on this podcast. Gables and I get together we're like 9 minutes in this. We haven't even talked about video games yet. Gables is like, why, like this is my Gables is like this is my
No,
podcast
man, the
partner.
fucking name of your fucking coffee shop,
Just
man.
foam.
That just foam.
Well, if you got anybody has any other foam related puns for my eventual coffee shop, let me know, please. Just foam it. I don't know. Foam with it. I'll think of more. Anyways, Gibbles and I get together every week, talk about video games, everything we love and hate about them, everything in between. Gibbles and I've been doing this he's still over. Gibbles has lost it. We've been doing this for almost 12 years now. we do this for fun. We don't make money off this. We don't get paid for this. We actually have paid a lot of money to do this podcast, but we just like video games, so we do it. We have full-time jobs, so we just do it for fun. There's no way to we don't have a Patreon. There's no way to like directly support us. The best way to actually help us out is subscribing to us, following us, 5-star reviews, leave reviews, comments, subscribes, thumbs ups. Really, if you can go to our YouTube channel and subscribe to us on there, that'd be great. We are getting close. We're at like 490 subscribers, so it'd be really nice to finally get to that 500 subscriber mark. We've been pushing that for a long time. There's content that only the podcast goes up on the podcast feeds, but we have like live reacts stuff like that. There's supposed to be the rumored state of play this week. As long as like work's not crazy, I plan to do a live react to that this week. There's going to be the Nintendo Direct for the Switch 2 in a couple months. Plan on doing that. Doing a live react to that. Also, there's like apparently a Nintendo Direct sometime this month. We have a Pokemon. The Pokemon Day will probably have something in that for a couple weeks here. So I plan on doing live reacts, all that stuff. That'll be exclusive on the YouTube channel. So it'd be great if you go there and subscribe to us and click the bell if you want to. I don't care if you do or not, but just subscribe to us to help us out. If you watch this video, hit that thumbs up button. That really helps us out. Like I said, we're a small channel. We're just a couple guys do this for fun. So best way to help us out. But Gables, let's get into the news. Just kind of, I mean, I don't know. I really don't know what to expect at this point with Warner Brothers Discovery. So Jay Schreier had a big report come out Friday morning from Bloomberg and kind of broke down that Wonder Woman, which was revealed in Game Awards 2021. It was just like a little teaser trailer, like 15 seconds, and we haven't heard anything about it since. All we knew was like it was being made by Monolith, who did like the Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War games that used the Nemesis system. This game was going to have the Nemesis system. It wasn't live service. They talked about they came out as a single player game. Apparently, it's just been kind of like meandering for years of like not really like kind of directionless, rudderless, and they basically about this time last year, they switched to a new director and essentially rebooted the entire game. They could, maybe they're still using like certain assets, but they're rebooting the game. They've already spent over $100 million on this game itself. And they said that this game is years away if it ever actually does come out. And it just kind of also breaks down just a lot of details that's been going on with Warner Brothers Discovery, the video game side. Obviously, WBD has just been a disaster of a company ever since the merger happened. These were two disastrous companies before they merged together. So I don't know why. Hey, we're two bad things. What if we come together and like now will become a good thing? I guess I don't know. Two negatives only make a positive in math. It doesn't actually work in business. But anyways, they talk about like Harry Potter, that Quidditch game that came out last year, was a gigantic flop. Multiverses that they announced last week is ending on May 30th, and they are turning it into they're going to do an offline mode so people can continue to play it. What sucks though is that people that bought the founder pack, there was I think there was 2 founder packs because they took it away and brought it back. Mm-hmm. There's still stuff that was like we're supposed to get down the line that they'll just never get for, and there's been no news about whether or not people are gonna get refunded or what's going on there with that. Like no real discussion about that. Mm-hmm. Sounds like you just kind of screwed over on that. And what's crazier on top of that was like we talked about this last year. Like WB bought this studio that is making Multiverses, which is even wilder. Like when like they brought it back, they bought them, and I'm just like, why? Like they already shut this game down once, and then brought it back, and then bought them. They did actually fire the president of the former president of WB Games, and just from a lot of different people, like former developers and current developers and stuff like that. It's about like basically the entire time this guy was running it, he has no like games experience at all. Like he's not a gamer. He doesn't play video games. Like typically you look at like most studios that are like in a good spot, or like most studios that are created by gamers, and they have like a general idea of like people that make games as well. Like so they have a general idea of how games work and the game development works. And this guy was basically just a suit that was thrown into the spot, and like you hear about all the time, like these suits come in and like they have no idea how shit works. But it's like usually there's like a somewhere in the middle that like kind of like go there. This guy had no like idea, and he was constantly changing his mind, like trend chasing, had no direction. They talk about like there was one studio that was working on they wanted to work on an original IP, and they were working on it for 3 years. despite the president, so the studio didn't know this, but the president was never going to greenlight the game. But he let them work on it for 3 years in production, pre-production, before they actually told him, yeah, no, we're not. This isn't happening. Just because he didn't want to tell
Wow.
him no, basically. Another studio was working on a Flash game, the superhero Flash, not like a Flash game like on your
Yeah.
PC. And they worked on it for 2 years. But when the Flash movie that came out, I think last year or 2023, when that movie bombed in
Yeah.
theaters, they canceled it. So it's just been a lot of that. There's been like obviously there's like the whole thing where like Rocksteady with Suicide Squad, where that was just like the studio, like basically like they wanted a live service game, so they had to like basically force in a live service game. There was the what was that Batman game uh that with the with the owls that came out a few years ago as well. Um,
With the owls?
what the fuck was that? The one that was like the 4 player game. You play as 4 different
Oh, Gotham Knight.
Gotham Knights. Like that game was originally supposed to be live service, and then when like that Marvel when the Avengers game came out, they like production but tried to like turn it into a non-live service game in the middle of production, and then it just kind of came out, and it was like that game actually like came out and it was fine. Like it reviewed okay, like I think like low 70s. Where Suicide Squad came out and like that game, like there was a decent story in there, but that game was bad. And Gables, okay, have you heard about the ending of what like so they basically just like put out all the content that was going to come out for Suicide Squad because they're ending it this year. Did you hear about what the actual story was for this? What the final story was?
Oh, the full extent of the actual story? No.
So Gables
Enlighten me,
in
Tyler.
the main game, spoilers for Suicide Squad if you give a shit. Um, Throughout the game in the main story, you kill everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You kill all the Suicide Squad. Everybody you kill everybody except for Wonder Woman. She doesn't get turned bad, but she died. Superman kills her. Uh, so in the end, and what's crazy is like they like basically they just had to like wrap it up. They weren't able to like finish like all the cutscenes. So it was like this like almost like comic book style like of like finishing up with a voiceover. Finish up. They were all clones.
Oh, so Wonder Woman pretty much died
For
to clones.
yeah to clones. Yeah. Yeah. So
Oh, oh God.
yeah. So but the Gables there is some good stuff out of this potentially.
Uh,
Rocksteady is making a single player Batman game, but they are
oh,
very early in production and it is a long ways away. Um, but Gables, I talked for a while there. What are your thoughts on all this?
you know what? A lot of this is pretty much like Warner Brothers doing in and of itself. Just the entirety of all of it, from the whole aspect of being mismanagement and stuff for the whole like multiverses stuff. I mean, it doesn't surprise me that the WDB president was incompetent because it seemed like in order to get this level of mediocrity or this level of like just existential like toxic type of like sales slide or something like that, you have to have someone at top that just completely is just a bumbling idiot.
Mm,
And this is exactly what sounds like to be the case here. It matches a lot of different things, chasing of trends, doing of this story, like quick cash grabs or some of that sort. Man, I just feel bad with some of the developers over there that just had to endure a lot of that shit, especially since you're working on a project for 3 years and all of a sudden it's like, yeah, you know what? No, we're not gonna go with this.
yeah.
It's like,
Which does happen. Like some people like they'll work on something for a couple of years and it just doesn't come together and they move on. But the fact that like they knew they were never going to greenlight it and they just let it like how many millions of dollars was like wasted by this team working on something they thought had a chance
Lord,
and then like no it was never gonna happen.
that doesn't even make sense whatsoever. You're pretty much self-cannibalizing yourself at that point because you have a team spend 3 years of their lives working on a project that there's probably fairly passionate about, but yet in the back of your mind that you had the chance to say, no, we're not going to go with this stuff right from the get-go, and you just waste a lot of people's time and your own resources, and then you wonder why you're out of a job.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just like they had the one big hit with Hogwarts Legacy. Obviously, that was a gigantic hit. 2022, I want to say that was.
Yeah.
But like there is concern from like they've already said they're making a sequel, but there's concern within the studio and the people that are making it, and WB, because like Harry Potter is like there's a pretty star franchise. Like there's a big fan base there, but it's a pretty
Yeah.
but like the kind of the concern is like basically maybe that like that need for content is maybe a little quenched. So like they don't understand maybe it'll come out and it'll do well again, but it's not gonna like they don't like like Warner Brothers like oh we're gonna have like this is gonna sell a 10 whatever million copies again. Um, but it's probably gonna sell less because there's a fan base that like this kind of quenched the thirst they had, or like maybe like the game came out and like it did pretty well. Like it seemed like people were like it didn't like it blow the socks off of people. It was like this is the greatest game ever. Like it was like no this is a pretty good Harry Potter game, and like some people thought it was really good. Some people thought it was okay, but it's like it wasn't like it was like the sequel to like one of the best. Like this isn't the sequel to like one of the best games ever. So it's like on top of that, so it's like I do wonder, like if that's going, if like like I'm sure this game will come out, we'll be fine, it will be good again, maybe even probably even better. But yeah, it's like how much more, if any, is this gonna sell? Because yeah, like that might be
Right.
people that are like, cool, I haven't had a Harry Potter thing since the movie like 15 years ago, and then we got this, and I'm good now, or I don't know. But yeah, it's just wild how like incredibly incompetent. Like it's just crazy. Like these people like get to these levels in these studios, and it's like, oh, they must be like really good at what they're doing here. And it's like, no, they have no idea what they're doing. They just kind of got put here. Like they're just friends with this guy, and he put him here. It's just like wow, like this guy made millions of dollars and had no clue what he was doing. Didn't even actually care for the
Oh,
products that he was like in charge of.
dude, that really reminds me of one person. You probably know who I'm going to be talking about too, because this is affiliated really much to what happened this past like NFL like coach cycling season and stuff like that. The firing of the GM Trent Baalke from the fucking like Jacksonville Jaguars and
Yeah,
stuff. Dude that just happens to slide into a position or something like that. It just happens to survive like rounds of layoffs and stuff,
yeah.
but has almost next no clue what the
Yeah,
fuck he's doing.
everywhere he goes is the trash fire. Yeah, it's just like, yeah, it's just crazy. Like if you're just friends with like, if you're just like, hey, like you're just a cool hang, and like but you're a cool hang with like people with power or like people with a lot of money, you can do all kind. Like I kind of wish I was friends with
Yeah.
like I wish I was friends with David Zaslav over at WBD because like I might like and I just kind of a cool hang with him. Like fuck yeah, like put me in, I like don't get me wrong. It'd be hard. Like if I was making multiple millions of dollars a year, it's hard to blame these people for doing it. But also, it's just like it does suck when it's like the human cost of this, where it's like how many thousands of people lost their jobs, how many years was wasted, how many like hundreds of millions of dollars was lost because of like one dipshit. I would do like I feel like I
Yeah.
would flame out like really quickly just enough to get like my golden parachute buyout. Like I wouldn't be able to Miranda around for like years. I'd probably like sign the contract and then like say something really fucked up to David Zaslav so he had to immediately fire me. Would be my plan so I could just get the money and leave. But yeah, it's wild. I can't believe it. It's just like I don't know. I mean, we I don't know. It's like we talk about all the time. The game industry is like a really weird spot, and it just kind of sucks when like we see like these big businesses kind of get like when like business gets in the way of art. When it's just like it was I've been listening to Jason Schreier coincidentally. I bought all his books on Audible. Like he talks about like he has some like stories about like the development of like some pretty crazy stories about like the guy that made like Stardew Valley and shit like that's really interesting stories that he did. But one of them he was like kind of like he was telling the story of like um, about how Batman Arkham uh, Asylum when that game came out. We don't know the exact number. I'm just gonna use figures here as a hypothetical, but like they spent say $10 million. It's a very small game. You could beat it like a couple sittings like on a weekend. If you wanted to. Say hypothetically they spent $10 million on it and they made 100 million. So then like WB is like, oh well, if we invest 50 million, we'll make 500 million. And then they invested 50 million, but then they made 200 million or like they made 120 million. So they spent X amount more, but they didn't make X amount more. So like the game did better, but they spent way more on it. But it didn't like the amount of money they spent, but they spent 5 times more, but they only made 20% more. So it's like it's one of those things where like that's also we see in like with these games where it's like the first one does really well. It's like, oh well, if we just spend this much more, we'll make X amount more. It's like no, that's not really how it works. So I don't know. It's just fascinating. It sucks when it's like I don't know. It's just like I said, gaming's just in a weird spot. And it's just like I was listening to Matt Piscatella. I talk about he's like really smart guy. He pretty much covers like video game sales. He does like the Circana reports every month. He talks about like video game is like you look. I mean, it's still way up from what it was pre-COVID. But obviously there was a leveling off period after COVID, which we all expected to happen, and we're still feeling the
Mhm.
effects, 5 years later, because everybody went nuts because like things blew up in COVID, and like, it's like I said it at the time, like this isn't going to continue. There's going to be a level off here. I'm a dumbass kid or kid. I'm 35. I'm a dumbass guy from Iowa with a high school education. I'm like, this isn't going to last forever. And there's all these people that make tens of millions of dollars a year. Like, we have to spend more. Like, people are buying video games. It's like, we got to hire more. We have to spend more. And it's like, here we are. And it's like, it's like all these people that like, those people are gonna like they're good. Those people that made those dumb decisions, they're good. But it's people that like I said, those developers that wasted years on these things that had no chance of succeeding, and like they spent way too much money on these things, and then I mean, they never come out, or they come out, and because even though they sell a couple million copies, doesn't make it for the budget because they spent way too much money on it. But I don't know, it's fucking it's God, it's wild. Anyways, rant over. Gables, let's move on to something. This is a little more up your alley here. Um,
Okay.
I think we both unfortunately watched that Capcom Spotlight. Gables, I'm at the point where I'm gonna start boycotting these things. I'm gonna be like Dallas Maverick fans. I'm gonna go to Capcom's offices and I'm gonna start fucking doing riots and shit because I'm sick of them. I'm sick of these fucking Capcom showcases. I'm sick of these goddamn Capcom spotlights. I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna burn a Mega Man plushie or something because I'm done with them. They're so bad. Why do we keep doing them? They're the worst. And because like I was gonna let you talk and I'm gonna go to rant. I apologize, Gables. But like all the coolest games they show at different. They announce at different places. Like Resident Evil goes to PlayStation shit. Like Monster Hunter goes like Keeley. It's like all the big games of theirs. They show off at different events. Onimusha, the new one comes out. Game Awards, bam, there it is. But then it's like, hey, we're doing a game show. We're doing a Capcom showcase. We're gonna exclusively talk about our stuff, and we're gonna spend like it's a 20-minute event. We're gonna spend 17 minutes talking about Capcom sales at the store now. We're gonna show trailers to games that have been out for years. There was an Ace Attorney's trailer there. There was a fucking.
Yep.
They had a whole Onimusha section, Gables, where they just showed the same trailer again. It was the same trailer. And then when like, hey, stay tuned. We're about to go to the Monster Hunter Wild section, the 15-minute section. There was another countdown to the next event. Why? Why was there another countdown? We're already here. Just go to it. Why is there a 5-minute countdown? Gables?
Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of this kind of repeated like a lot of the same things that we've already known like beforehand from other places. Like you were just stating, I think there was like really like maybe one or two pieces of news, things that were kind of worthwhile in my honest
There was like
opinion. I
3 minutes
mean,
of worthwhile shit. Yeah.
yeah, it was like 3 minutes of worthwhile shit and stuff, and everything else could have just been. This could have been just like a just random web video update,
Yeah.
like
An
just a
email.
little blurb,
Yeah.
like the reveal date for the Marvel Fighting Collection 2 and stuff that was
Yeah.
inside of this initial showcase, which that was like the only thing I really got out of it because I didn't really stay and just watch a lot of the Monster Hunter Wild stuff because I know I want to play this.
Yeah. So in it, we'll run through real fast. Onimusha 2 remaster was announced. That's coming in 2025.
Yes.
Street Fighter 6 is adding Mai to it, which they announced the day before. So whatever. And then Capcom Fighting Collection 2 is coming May 16th. And then also that Marvel vs. Capcom Collection is coming to. They announced it's coming to Xbox. And I can't. I
Yeah.
think it's out now, or they announced a day for it. I
Yeah.
didn't write it
They
down.
stealth dropped the same day as they
Yeah, and
announced
it's
it.
actually $10 cheaper on Xbox.
Yeah, because they have to go through and remade the different like I if I'm not mistaken, when Marvel vs. Capcom 2 was released on the different platforms for like PS2 and like Xbox and stuff, there's different types of architectural thing inside the Xbox versions of it. So that's why the reason it's been taking so long to get that port
Yeah.
initially done for the Xbox, why that one was the last one to actually be
Yeah.
done, is there's some sort of architectural stuff they had to go and do for that version.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, Gables, you're the fighting game guy. So, what was your thoughts on Mike coming to Street Fighter and then the Capcom collection?
Well, honestly, we've already knew that my stuff, was going to be dropping fairly soon. So that really wasn't like that big of a deal because we already had a release trailer from fucking Capcom beforehand. But yeah, my dropping in and stuff. I haven't had a chance to like play as her yet, but from what I've seen, especially what I've actually seen from like what Max Million Dudes play, she looks pretty fun. She does look pretty fun to play as. As far as like the whole Xbox release of the Marvel Fighting Collection, I mean that's awesome. You know, I mean people that love playing on the Xbox platforms, they have a chance to experience one of my favorite game collections of the last year. I mean, I still play that damn thing off and on, even though it's like between two different versions, I've chalked it at least 70 plus hours because I love these classic fighting games. But yeah, man. Other than that, though, I mean, I'm glad that the second Onimusha game is going to remaster. You know, because that Onimusha series, you know, highly underrated. Three games in that series, so I'm kind of wondering if they'll actually go and try to do the third
And the third
version.
one not very good.
It didn't turn out fairly good and stuff, and actually had like a Hollywood actor in it too for the
Oh,
last Onimusha 3.
is it that one? Is that was on PS3, wasn't it?
It was on
Oh,
PS2.
was it? Oh wow, okay, I thought it was PS3.
All the Onimusha games I can remember, the first, second, and third were on the PS2, and the last one they released in like 2005, but
Oh,
it had oh my god, I'm trying to think now.
um,
There, it was an actor. I know I've seen the actor before because he played in the the 1999 version of Godzilla alongside Matthew Broderick.
I was gonna ask, is
That's
it
the only
Matthew
thing I.
Broderick? That'd be awesome.
No, it's not. Oh my god, that'd be pretty hilarious. Matthew Broderick instead of a friggin' Onimusha game.
uh, Donnie Yen. Oh, he directed it. Um, I'm just trying to find it. Uh, development. I'm not finding anything on
But yeah, though. I mean, I'm glad for Onimusha fans. I mean, you go so many years without hardly any type of details or any other types of like maybe hope of like game stuff, and all of a sudden, hey, you're getting like this Onimusha game and that remastered of this Onimusha game, and like,
Oh, Jen Reno.
yeah, Jen Reno,
Okay.
he was inside the game for Onimusha 3, but yeah, the Capcom showcase, man, it just wasn't necessary. You just
Yeah.
release a couple different blurbs, no reason for it to be like a gigantic like 30-minute or like an hour conference stuff.
Yeah. No, it's like not everybody needs to do one, and it's like they even have like a surprise thing for us. Like oh, I guess that Onimusha 2 remaster, but like I don't know, where's
Yeah.
Pragmata? Like it was announced at the PS5 reveal. That was 5 years ago.
Dude, it's starting more likely to become vaporware at this point.
Yeah, yeah. If like it's canceled, it's canceled, it's whatever. But like, it's like
It's like Agent, for God's sake.
right, yeah, deep down. Um, yeah. Oh man, Fireball Agent. What a weird game. That never happened. Remember that's crazy? Like PlayStation gave up the exclusivity rights to Grand Theft Auto for the exclusivity
Yeah,
rights of Agent, and they just never put it out. It's just fucking wild to me. It's like wow.
yeah.
But moving on, Gables. Um, Switch has passed 150 million units sold. So
Hmm.
I think it is now like its third best selling hardware ever. It's still behind the DS, and obviously I think it's like 4 million behind the DS and 10 million behind the PS2. So
Yeah, that's really crazy that it's cutting it that close for the DS.
mm, well, they did have to. They did announce though that they did lower sales pre, predictions. Sorry, for what they thought was going to sell. I think the second quarter in a row now they've had to drop what they thought they were going to sell. Um,
Ah,
I mean, obviously, I think this is the year where obviously we've seen some dips the last few years. The year before though, it rebounded a little bit because they had the Tears of the Kingdom come out, and then also they did those Tears of the Kingdom that Switch OLED sold incredibly well for them. Um,
yes.
so I give it a nice little boost. But I think the maybe that they had that Echoes of Wisdom Switch Lite. Maybe that didn't light the world on fire as far as like people buying another Switch. For that. And then yeah, I mean like the holidays was pretty lackluster. Like they talk about like the new Super Mario, the Mario Party Jamboree. It is the fastest selling Mario Party ever. But it's a I think people that already own a Switch are buying it. The Mario and Luigi Brothers ship sold just shy, I think, of a couple million copies, which is fine. That's good. I think for most companies out there, if they sold $2 million for like their C tier game, they would be astounded for it. But for Nintendo, it's just like it's kind of nothing. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I think we're just kind of at that point now with Nintendo where we're just kind of uh, I think everybody's just kind of waiting for the new one. Especially now it's already been revealed. All these numbers are as of December 31st, so this isn't even like it has nothing to do with like the Switch 2 reveal just last month. This is all just because of I think we're coming up on the 8-year anniversary of the Switch releasing, so it is not surprising that we are here with this. I mean, it's pretty surprising just how long it lasted. I think it would be incredibly hard now, especially with with what the sales are dropping pretty rapidly, even more rapidly than Nintendo thought. But like I said, we're year 8, and they need to sell another 10 million. They're hoping to sell 11 million this year. It'd be pretty hard for them to sell another 10 million. I think they can maybe do it. Like they're gonna do a price drop. If I was Nintendo, I'd make sure I made 161 million just so I could surpass PS2, because even if it takes 5 years of like my Switch sitting on a Walmart shelf, I'm gonna it sells for $25. I want to just be able to say, hey, when you're this close, man, just just even if it costs you some money in the long run, just get you over the finish line. I'd do it. You're gonna obviously at this point you could probably they haven't dropped the price of the Switch yet. They can drop it down quite a bit and get them over that finish line. And they make way more money on selling games for this thing than the console itself. So I don't know. I mean, it's whatever. But it's like we're just kind of like it's crazy. It's like we waited forever for this fucking Switch 2 to get announced, and I'm just so tired of the Switch at this point now because we spent so long waiting for Switch 2. I'm already annoyed with the Switch 2. It's not even here yet, Gables. I'm already sick of it.
Well, that's before we even know anything more about it.
Right.
I mean, but yeah, you know what? It's just one of those things where it's like I really wish that Nintendo would just drop price of the original Switch anyway, because if you really want to just tout the fact that this system did this well to the fact to where it became one of the best selling game consoles of all time slash handheld of all time and stuff, then why not?
Yeah.
I mean, you have nothing else to lose here with this damn system, and plus they're gonna be supporting the original Switch probably for the next like couple of years anyway,
Yeah.
while the Switch 2 is out.
Yeah, and plus, they're gonna have backwards compatible, so I'm sure it's gonna be like we seen with
Yeah.
the PS5 and the Xbox Series consoles, where like, games are coming out cross-platform, or if you bought it for you bought it for PS4, it's still working in PS5 or whatever. So, yeah, I think and then like I'm sure they're gonna put out games. Like they already said, Pokemon Legends ZA and Metro Prime 4 will be Switch 1 games. So,
Yes.
yeah. So I mean, we'll have to wait and see. But I don't know. I'm just ready for April 2nd to get here. Speaking of April 2nd, they did say though, that the Switch 2 Direct on April 2nd will be at 6 a.m. Pacific time, Gables.
I know, bright and early.
Yeah, well, 8 a.m. for me, so I'm gonna have plenty of time to froth some milk and get some caramel drizzle and make some coffee and sit down and watch this baby at 8 o'clock my time because I'm Central Time. But yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready. It's a Wednesday. I'm already off that day, so I'm excited for it. I'm just ready for Captain Toad Treasure Tracker 2 to be announced, Gables. That's all I want in the world. I'm just the boy that wants to play Captain Toad. I don't ask for a lot of things. Then maybe the goddamn Packers win the fucking Super Bowl. Next up, State of Play rumor for next week. Not too much else on that one because I think we've known for a while that there's gonna be one this month. There's supposed to be there's a rumor like Nintendo Direct this month as well, but it could be a partner Direct as well though too. So it's hard to get too excited for like State of Plays because it's like, is this gonna be like the good one where they put like PlayStation stuff in it, or is this gonna be like the third party one where like this was just an obligation, so we had to throw one together to put these games out that we promised we would advertise. But we did already see though that Metal Gear Solid Delta, the trailer leaked on PSN with a release date of August 28th. It was a good trailer. Recommend you go out and check it out. Looks great. Looks gorgeous. I'm excited for it. I'm a little bummed it's a lot later than I thought it would be. This was a game that was like supposed to come out last fall, and they just never even officially announced it was like not coming out. It just didn't like we just got to 2025 and the game wasn't out yet. So it's like uh here we are. And I'm a little surprised it got pushed back as far as it did, but it's whatever. That game is probably. I mean, safe to assume that game's probably gonna be really good.
Mm.
They got to really screw it up to because it looks like it's basically a 1-to-1 remake of Metal Gear Solid 3. So I feel pretty good that game's gonna be at worst good. But yeah, I'm excited for that one. I'm assuming we get like a Death Stranding 2 trailer because Kojima said like months ago that he was working on a new trailer. Um, and he was like he posted some stuff online the other day, and it was like kind of some more teases about stuff. But Kojima likes to tease people, so especially me. I think specifically just me. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, Gables, how excited are you for your state of play?
Moderately, just moderately excited because I'm not really too sure what to expect from this initial state of play. I mean, if we do hear anything else, like maybe first party related for PlayStation, maybe I'll get a little bit excited depending upon what it is. But at the same point, I'm really not expecting too much to come out of this other than just reiterations of like some games that we haven't heard from for a while for like indies
Yeah,
or even like say a reintroduction of like certain games that will be releasing later on this year on PlayStation systems. But I think it's going to be mostly third party centric, personally.
yeah. Yeah, it's like I said, it's hard. We never know. Sometimes these state of plays come out and they're fucking bangers, and sometimes they come out and just like, man, this was just a gigantic waste of my time. But I think
Yep.
I think it'd be good though, especially with like Jim Ryan being gone, the switching of everything. Like, obviously they can't just like in a week whip up like, hey, make a trailer. Like put some
No.
assets together and make a trailer. But it'd be a good time to do that and remind people like, hey, why you bought a PS5. Obviously with things not looking great with like all the live service stuff and like all these live service games getting canceled and um we see like with Concord and like we don't really like we know like Ghost of Yote is coming supposed to be this year. Death Stranding is supposed to be this year, but like we don't really know much past that. So maybe like I don't know, some like it'd be cool to like hey like a reminder of hey we're PlayStation type of thing, and like and especially help like I said it's obviously you can't just whip up a trailer in a week, but like Xbox had a really good developer direct a couple weeks ago, and they're putting a lot of really good looks like really good games like four in like the next like couple months. So like it wouldn't be bad to have like some great games like even if they're not like this year or they're imminent, like hey like here's some cool shit we got in the we got in the books that are like a year out, which would be great. But yeah, I don't know. It's like I said, it's state of plays, even showcases at this point with PlayStation. Sometimes it's like you never know. But it'd be great to get some third party games. It'd be nice to get some dates because I feel like
Yes.
2020 like and obviously everybody's scared of the Switch 2 and GTA 6, but it'd just be nice to like because it's like this year just feels like I mean like there's a lot of things with like 2025 dated, but it's just like I don't know. It's like I feel like this year, I think it's very rare. I think anymore we're gonna have bad years for gaming. There's so many games nowadays, like on the indie side, the AAA side, in the middle, double A, whatever you want to call it. That we're always gonna have some great games out there every year. But like, it'd be nice to see especially me, like I'm a huge, like, I love a lot of the PlayStation specific games. So it'd be nice to like, we haven't had one in a little bit. Like we had Astrobot, I know, but like we haven't had like the next big like game from them in a while. So it'd be kind of cool, like kind of reload because I feel like like it always felt like for a long time there in the 2010s where like it always felt like we always got one, we always got a big game when it come out, but we always knew the next three or four, and we don't really know the next three or four. Like we know like the next couple. Then like there's like fair games out there. So and like marathon is happening. Maybe they don't. Maybe they show a marathon. I don't know. I feel like though like hey maybe we just don't even if it's ready like maybe we don't show any games and service games for a little bit. Like we'll hold off on those for a little bit. We'll send an email or something. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see though. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the news this week. Gables, let's just jump into what we've been playing. Do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first, buddy?
I'll go first because it's going to be rather brief and stuff. So I have been playing a couple of different types of games this past week. Mostly retro stuff because this is just that time of the year for me. What I like to just delve into something that's familiar but also fun. I had a chance to test out a Super Nintendo for my workplace and stuff. I had a chance to take it home and try out a couple of games that I have along with that console, as well as like I had to use my own like AV cable and stuff. but I had a chance to play a little bit of play action football on the Super Nintendo, which that game has a lot of nostalgia for me because it was one of those few games that my dad ended up picking up and stuff that are like sports related. It's like, oh hey, here's a football game for the Super Nintendo. Let's pick this up for you and let's play this. And so years later, I tracked down that same game and stuff, and so I had a chance to just play a little bit of it, as you would expect. Fairly simplistic in terms of its style, in terms of its gameplay stuff. I have forgotten how to play that game so much because it's been like, kid you not, like maybe 20, 25 years since I've actually played that game last. And I can understand why, is because that game can be pretty freaking frustrating to play. And part of the reason is like when you start off and you play a game, or to say, it goes into the whole coin toss stuff, right? And what's kind of hilarious is you have heads and tails, right? Heads is like Mario's head, and then tail is like a raccoon's tail. And this play action football stuff, I think it was like a Nintendo like collaborated like football game, right? And so when you go onto the field, like for offense or defense and stuff, you actually have a chance to check out an actual kind of like playbook or something like that for like football teams, right? And so because my 49ers and stuff, I checked out like a whole bunch of their different types of things. So like you have your sweeping plays, you have your deep post type of plays, you have just standard sort of like halfback leads and stuff and
Mm.
this and that. But one of the major flaws of that game is while you're playing the game on the field, it has like sort of like a lopsided sort of look to it, to where it's like off centered in terms of like when you're viewing the initial game, and there's like a little map on the top left hand portion of the screen that you can increase the size, I think, by pressing select. And so the bad thing about it is whenever I start a play, I have to look up to that top left portion in order to try to figure out where the hell the ball is going to be going to. Because, and then on top of that, try to figure out how am I going to pass this ball accurately to my receiver, because I'm using a fucking D-pad as opposed to using analog sticks like I'm so used to doing with Madden. And it was, I did not even get through initial game because I got rather frustrated at trying to play the game, because every time I tried to do a passing play, it either was intercepted or it was just incomplete because I threw it the exact opposite way of what I wanted to go to. Or in that case, it was it just kind of reminded me why I didn't go back to play that game years ago. But the other game I played, tested out, and bear in mind, I tested like about 5 different Super Nintendo games on it. I played a little bit of also like Super Bases Loaded
Mm.
for the Super Nintendo. That was a long running series on the NES. And then this game comes out on the Super Nintendo. I've had a lot more fun playing that game in the past. And it's just a simple arcade baseball game, right? It's like you have your set things of teams. There's no major league teams that are actually referenced, but you do have like specific type of teams where you can just customize and edit in terms of what they look like, like what the team's colored, like their uniforms look like or whatever. So you could possibly even create your own team that you root for, stuff to put it inside the game if you truly wanted to. But I tested out the controllers with the Super Nintendo, because that Super Nintendo came with 2 controllers, like a third party, sort of like Super Pad, and then like the original like SNES controller. The Super Pad one felt kind of stiff in terms of the D-pad and also in terms of the buttons and everything. So I'm trying to play this baseball game, trying to do like precision hits, and it's like, am I pressing this all the way correctly here? I mean, this is getting really kind of sensitive with that. So I tried out 2 sports games. I tried out Killer Instinct. I have the SNES copy of Killer Instinct. I ironically found at my workplace like about a year and a half ago, and I'm buying that. And oh boy, the precision strikes and stuff. Yeah, the precision gameplay of that Killer Instinct on the Super Nintendo, just every game I tried on that system, I didn't have any problems with. Like no cutting out, no sound issues. The controllers were mostly good. Nothing like really too crazy or extravagant stuff. The last game I think I played on it was Super Metroid, and man, goddamn, it kept me in the mood of fucking playing Super Metroid because that game is so freaking good. So freaking good, dude. It's just like when you watch the movie Alien and stuff, just the sense of isolation and stuff, and like the sense of like all these creatures are gonna come out and kill you and stuff, and you don't if you make like the wrong move and stuff, and you're trying to get all this other shit going. But yeah, man, I mean, it just felt good just to power on that cart because I hadn't played it like in over 15 years or so. Just like it's it was just really fun to try stuff like that out. But as far as like anything like on a like a console or whatsoever that's like more modern. I did. I don't know why, but I started getting to play a little bit more Balloon Fight on like the NES Online stuff because it's just a crazy thing. I have a craving to play freaking Balloon Fight. You know, the controls are really floaty and stuff, and get you have to spend like quite a bit of time just to get accustomed to how floaty it is, and that way you try to do the precision stuff. But once you have it down, it actually feels remotely fun to just screw around with. And so I decided just to think, okay, why don't I go the single player route with this, for Balloon Fight and see if there's an actual ending to the game. Yeah, there's no actual ending to Balloon Fight. It's just basically an arcade game, right? And I found that out because I maximized the high score of that damn thing. I decided, okay, let's use a combination of playing this game, going to save states, finding out that a whole bunch of levels just repeat themselves over and over and stuff until finally it's like you get all the way up to like 999 max score, and then just play a little bit of balloon trip and stuff to where you just try to get the top score and that's about it. But yeah, that game can be really fun and addicting if you take the time and just like play with someone in terms of maybe not the Switch Online stuff, but it's a two-player game too. But yeah, other than that though, I mean, just screwing around little bits of MVC collection, just trying to just keep up the snuff, just playing a Spider-Man and like Marvel superheroes and stuff. God, I can't believe at one time it's like even before like the whole COVID stuff, I go to my local Walmart and I see the arcade one-up cabinet for like the Marvel superhero stuff. And I kid you not, it's like back then when I went to Walmart, my parents were shopping and stuff, and I'm just staying in this fucking arcade machine, this little arcade one-up machine and stuff, and I'm almost getting this close to beating fucking Thanos and stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, it's like, if I beat this fucking game inside the store, there's no desire for me to buy the cabinet. But unfortunately, they got rid of it as soon as COVID started and stuff. And
Mm.
it was just it was depressing. And I had to wait up until last year in order to actually play it thoroughly. And oh my god, I just fucking love Marvel superheroes after that shit. But yeah, man, nothing really new or substantial that I was playing. But what have you been playing, Tyler?
I've been playing a couple games. Real quick, I did beat Hades. Well,
Oh, good.
kind of, sort of. So like there are like there's like I got the credits, but there is like way more to do after that, like story wise stuff.
Oh,
And I was kind of like looking up, like okay, like because like to actually get the credits, you have to complete 10 runs. And I did that, and I was like, great game. I love the game. I'm having a great time with it. But I was like, all right, like, like what do I actually have to do? Because I'm like, they do like change up things, and there's like different things you can do to like make the game harder for yourself to kind of like change up the runs
mm-hmm.
a little bit. But it is, you're still going to the same four areas over again. I love it, but it's like the runs are getting kind of long now. They're like 40 minutes at this point, and I'm just like, all right, like, and I put 20 something hours into it. I love the game. The game feels great, great gameplay, all that. I love the story, but I'm how like how much more do I need to like do to actually roll credits? And I was kind of reading about it. I'm like, I'm just gonna watch a YouTube video on this to get the rest of it because I'm like, it's kind of just like you have to do like a bunch more runs. And it's like a lot of like because obviously it's a roguelike, so you have to like get lucky on like what power ups and what things you get. So it's like it is a lot of like RNG, like praying to the RNG gods of like getting these certain things and like to like and it's like doing several runs and all that. I'm just like I'm not doing all that. Like if it was like a few more hours of like doing stuff, I would have done it. But I'm like, okay, I don't want like when it comes to like random and then also like it's gonna be a lot more than a few hours. I'm like, that's okay. But I was still hankering for a game. I'm like, man, I just want like a fun action game. Like I don't want anything. Still in that weird phase where I'm like, I don't want anything too deep as far as like crazy gameplay, and I'm just kind of like killing time until Avowed comes out, because that's a game I'm really looking forward to playing. I did. I got the Steam Deck now, and I was just going through, and a game came out. This game came out. I believe it was a mobile game first, and then it came to Switch last summer, and then it came to Steam at the end of last year. It's called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Splintered Fate. It is uh, almost literally a Hades skin, but turtles. It's like this with it is literally just they put the turtle skin over Hades. The combat is not as good. I would say it's like a, if you think Hades is like a 10, this is like a 7.5. As far as like, the combat is good. It's good. It's fine. Like the story is fine. It's not great. It is like, but if you like, I think it's based off like the Nickelodeon cartoon as well. The voice acting is it's whatever. But like, I don't know, the story is fine. It's like, Splinter gets like pulled into like this kind of like different dimension or something like that. So then you go into like, you just kind of jump into like a dimension. There's like, I haven't been able to finish a run yet. I played like 7 hours of it. But it's got hooks in me a little bit here. I just got it on like Wednesday. I think I played for like 4 hours Wednesday, and I played for a few more hours today. But it is definitely, it's been a really fun game, really good game. Like like I don't feel like the cool, like the stuff you can get, like, from like finishing up areas, encounters and stuff like that, like the power ups and stuff like that, is as good. There are like the currency is good enough to like you're getting upgrades and everything like that. But like, it is like, if you like a rogue, if you want to look for like a roguelike, you're just looking for like a cool like a Turtles game. This is like, it's not as good as what was that, Shredder's Revenge? Was that the one?
Yeah.
Like, it's nowhere near as good. Like that
Shredder's
game.
Revenge.
That game is phenomenal. And this game is just like, it is fine. It is good. But like, if you're looking for like a game like this, like maybe like, I don't know, like, it's not bad. It's a pretty fun game. I'm having a good time with it. Like, this is not a game I plan on like playing forever, but it is definitely like one of those good games that's like, this is a good game to play to like get me to, like, it's one of those games like, it's a game you play to get to the next game. And I'm having a good time with it. And it was on sale on Steam. It's only on Switch and on Steam right now. But it's on sale on Steam right now, like $20. But like, they just put out DLC on, I think, Tuesday or Wednesday this week, and that's why like it popped up on like the Steam store, and I was looking at it, and like I bought, like, for like $2 more, you get all the DLC with it. There was like another expansion pack, and then there's a new one came out, and you can play as Casey Jones. They add like a new area to it, but I think you have to beat the main game before you can actually unlock the new section. Like, it's pretty funny. Like, there's like the frog punks are there, Rocksteady's there. There's a couple of like cool enemies that show up as well from like that I recognize. Obviously you're fighting the Foot Clan, Shredder's there, and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm having a good time with it. I think, Gables, this is a game that I think you would really dig. Actually,
Probably.
it's not super hard either. Like, I'm playing on, there is an easy mode, there's a normal mode. I'm just playing on normal mode, but it's not impossibly hard. It's definitely just like, I'm getting better and better. I'm good enough to get to the final boss, fighting the final boss, but I've not beaten him yet. So I feel like I'm probably a few more runs. I could probably get there. I'm like just a few more power ups away from it, but yeah, it's a good game. I'm having a good time with it. I actually recommend it, and it's like, yeah, it's like $20, and you get all the DLC with it as well. Like, check it out, especially if you're someone that's hankering for like, like I was looking at, I almost broke and bought the Hades 2, and like earlier, I just want to wait for the game to come out like completely. But I was like, man, I'm just like, I was eyeballing it, and then I saw this. I'm like, I really don't want to get Hades 2 right now because that's a game that's going to hook me. And I'm looking at like, Vowed, and there's other games coming out here soon that I want to play. And I'm just like, I'm going to wait. I'm like, this kind of like helped me fight that urge to buy Hades 2. The other game though I'm playing, I did get a review code for this, so just a heads up on that one. Thank you to the developers, and also keymailer for getting me the review code for this. This is a game that I believe it's on all consoles now. Like, it's on everything, like Steam, Switch, and Xbox and PlayStation. Or at least I know I'm pretty sure it's on PlayStation and Switch as well. I'm playing on Steam. I'm playing on my Steam Deck. It's called, I believe, Mika and the Witch's Mountain. It could be Mika. I apologize for getting that wrong. But it's actually, it's a pretty cool, like, little kind of cozy game. One of the things that like kind of piqued my interest was like they compare it to like a Short Hike, which Short Hike is a game that I loved. I played it back in 2020. I believe it came out like the same day Hades came out on Switch. And I played through it. I believe it ended up being, I think it was like my third favorite game of that year in 2020. Like, I absolutely adored that game. It's kind of like a cozy game where like, Short Hike was like you're just trying to get to the top of a mountain, and this is kind of the same game where like you are a witch that, or you want to go to a school to become a witch, and you go to the top of the mountain, and like you get like basically like the teacher like knocks you off, like you gotta like fly with your broom, and she like knocks you off the top of the mountain, and your broom breaks, and you need to get a new broom to get like basically the ultimate goal is to get back up the top of the mountain. Um, and but the way to get that is but you need money to fix your broom, and then when you fix your broom, but you need to like get a better broom to like be able to get back up there, and you get like better upgrades, and you can fly a little bit higher, you can go further with your upgrades as you go. But like the way you do that is you need money, and there's like other like you can find like there's kites that are on. There's like little side activities you can find as well that like to get like bonuses and stuff like that. But like the main thing is like you have to go work for like the post office there, and like you go and like either deliver things to people, or you like you pick up stuff from customers and bring it back. And like you have like certain goals where like you gotta do an X amount of time. Like you're basically like it's not like an open world, but it's like a little small island. You need to fly around. There are like different things we have to like maybe jump across areas, or well you have a broom you can like fly across, but you're falling with style really. Um, but yeah, like if you have different goals where you gotta do it in a certain time period, you can't hit things, like it will break, and then like you're graded based off of how well you do, and then like the better your grade is, the more like money you'll get, and then there's like ultimately like you'll I'm assuming, I haven't finished the game yet, but I've heard it's a pretty short game, like it's like 3-4 hours. I think it is like $12 or $13, so it's not super expensive, but I think yeah it's fine. Like I don't think it's like it's definitely not to me is not as good as the short hike was. I think the music is fine. Like there's a lot of parts where like the music there's just like no music, so it's just very quiet. It's kind of weird. Like sometimes, like I don't know if it's like an issue, or like sometimes the music kicks in, and sometimes there's just no music. And I'm like, all right, it's kind of weirdly quiet. But there's like little side experiences, like there's like a boat that was, or not a boat, there's a plane that was on fire, and I grabbed like a sponge, and I flew over the ocean. I filled it, like I put out the fire and stuff like that. But yeah, like it is fine. It's a pretty solid little cozy game. Like if you're looking for like if you're a fan of like a short hike or something like that, and like I said, I'm not saying this is anywhere near as good as like a short hike was. Like I loved that. I beat that game in like one sitting. But like I don't know, like I feel like it is like more of a behind the back third person. But yeah, like it is fine. Like like the flying is fine, the jumping is fine, like everything's fine about it. Like I just the characters are fine. Like it did not hook me though like a short hike did. But yeah, I think it's like I said, if you're looking for like a nice little cozy game to play, I think part of it honestly too, Gables, is while I was playing it, like I'm someone that delivers packages as a full time job, and here I am playing a video game
Yeah.
where I'm delivering packages. It's kind of like when I was playing Death Stranding years ago, and I was like I had a full time job of delivering packages, and also I had a second part time job delivering pizzas. I'm like, man, all I do for like 70 hours a week is deliver things, and now I'm playing a game about delivering things. And I think that kind of messes with my head a little bit while I'm playing this. I'm like all I do all week is deliver things, and now I'm playing a game where I'm delivering things. I'm like, I don't know if this is not healthy for me, maybe. But yeah, I like it though. It's fine. But yeah, once again, thank you for the review code. I do recommend checking it out. I will put a link down below though if you want a link to the Steam page. Because it's cool. And I believe it was on sale last week. It might still be on sale, so check it out. But yeah, I think that'll wrap it up for us, Gables. Like I said, we've been around. We've been doing this for almost 12 years now. If you want to help us out, we would appreciate it. Please like, follow, subscribe. Check us out everywhere. YouTube, Apple Podcast, Spotify, stuff like that. There's a link down below to get us those places. Like I said, leave those comments, leave those reviews, tell your friends, share with your friends. Honestly, that'd be the best way to help us out. And subscribe to us on YouTube, honestly, is maybe the best thing you can do for us. And then tell us how much you like us as well. That makes us feel nice. Don't say mean things to us. We're very sensitive people, especially me. I'm very sensitive. But anyways, I was your host, I was Tyler.
And I've been Colonel Gables. So until next time, everyone, play some fun games and have yourself a good day.
And Gables,
Yeah.
tell Fukoko you love him.
Oh, I love this Fuikoko.
He said it to his butt. That was his butt.
Oh, God.
Love you guys.
See ya.